Hello, my name is Imelda McCarthy, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my paper in the Australian New Zealand Journal of Family Therapy. And it's called Co-Creating a Fifth Province and includes my journey with an Indigenous metaphor and my journey into spirituality. Um, I draw on the ancient metaphor of the fifth province. Um, Now, as many as those of you who might know about Ireland, there are only four provinces in Ireland, but the Irish name for province is Coiga, which means fifth. So there was a pointing to a fifth province that didn't seem to really geographically exist. So it became a kind of magical or metaphorical or liminal space between the four provinces. So at one time it was imagined that the four geographical provinces of Ireland met at the hill of Ishnok, and this became known as the site of the fifth province. And in fact, there is a stone in the centre of the hill called the Cat Stone, which is thought to be the point at which the four provinces met. We use this metaphor as a way to break up binary thinking and dualistic thinking, and also as a way to reclaim our cultural past in the face of a largely Anglo-American literature in the English language in terms of family therapy and systemic practice in the 1980s. And many of you will know that Ireland had a long history of colonization. It was 800 years by our nearest neighbour. And we began to find very early in our work that some of the families' ways of communicating did not really seem to fit with what we were finding in American descriptions or English descriptions of families that they were presenting in clinics there. And so rather than see that we might pathologize those families, we began to explore our own culture for the kinds of ways that we might typically communicate in Ireland. And we found that there was a large reliance on storytelling, a large kind of propensity for speaking at multiple levels, for being quite poetic. And of course, we have a strong and long lineage of wonderful poets in our country and wonderful writers. So we wanted to explore these resources in terms of our families. And it was an attempt to decolonize our practice from many, I suppose, traces of our period, our long period of colonization under the British government. So that really is the background for excavating our ancient culture. And also, when I met my spiritual teacher in 1999, I found there were deep resonances between what he was saying and systemic practice, and also he had a good interest. He took a good interest in the metaphor of the fifth province, and so when I set up a meditation group here in 1999, we began to use both his teachings, but also practices from our fifth province work in terms of how we would listen to each other and practice. And there was a way of listening which I kind of went on to develop in my own work, which was how to enter into deep presence with people where one was communing. And it was a space of expansiveness and deep listening. And so I've tried to describe that as best I can in the article, and I hope you'll enjoy the article. And I want to say also that it has quite a deep resemblance to an article that appeared in 2017 in the journal, in the ANZJFT. And it was called Light from Light, or Light in the Light, I think it was called. And it was by an Irish author. Her name was Mary Jo McVeigh. And so actually these two papers together, if you're interested in Irish culture and Irish Indigenous practices, would be very nice to read together. So thank you very much to the journal for inviting me to both do this little um, Zoom piece, and also for the two special editors, Tracy Johnson and Peter. So thank you very much, and good wishes to everybody.